Make some noise for your host, Kid Copious.
What up, perps? Kid Copious, back in the bunker, Purple State Party. You know what we rep here, man. America, the center, common sense, and things that go boom and put up streamers. Yeah, I love that, man. Man, I love this. I love what I'm doing right now, man. You know, I'm just happy for any views I get, but I guess when you figure out what you really want to do in life, I guess for me, it was put on a costume and record a show where I try to save America. Sounds pretty, I'm really thinking highly of myself here, but, that's what anybody who's in this business is trying to do is to change the way America is run. So anyhow, we'll start with I'm playing with my popper. So we'll start with why. Here's the title right here. Why it's called that. The Parable of the Ditches. So as I worked the other day, I was talking to a client and we were talking about something political. I don't remember exactly what it was, you can imagine. We had a lot in common. But I was talking about the apocalyptic outcome of something, and he said, why are we always jumping from ditch to ditch? A conversation went on for a while, and then light bulb, bing. Maybe I got light bulb graphic, I don't know, I'll see what I have. Well, anyhow, the light bulb went off, and I thought, you're right, we jump from one ditch to the other ditch, and it's just these two extremes, these two ditches, and the answer's right there in the middle. But nobody wants to come up and just stand in the middle. And it's like in World War I when you had trench warfare, Well, there's my hands. And you had machine guns going back and forth. And men would come up and over and try to run across here, and they'd get mowed down by the machine gun. That's kind of how it went. You like that? I can't afford an illustrator or an animator. Hey. But anyhow, the point is that we do have this left and right ditch right now, and we are entrenched in these positions. And when you look at poll numbers like we're going to tonight, we're going to look at how Americans feel about things. You see that the answer's kind of in the middle, and since it's red and blue, the people in the middle were colored purple in this chart. And, that's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm trying to get people to see purple, not red and blue. I love the red, white, and blue. It's all around me, behind me. It's all there, man. But when you mix those three colors together, you're going to end up with purple. And I just think that really says it all. So anyhow, we started off this week with a nice kickoff there. China sent 52 aircraft, including fighters and bombers, into Taiwan airspace. And it's blustering. They'll sell you on blustering. But what it is they're testing the defenses. They want to know, when they're flying, where is it that Taiwan picks them up? So they listen to Taiwan radio, and when there's a lot of chatter about inbound bombers and fighters, they know that they've been spotted. Yeah. That's what it's about, man. And why is Taiwan so important? Taiwan dominates nearly 60% of semiconductors. Their company, TSMC, is one of the largest. It rivals and makes parts for Qualcomm, Apple, NVIDIA. You've heard of those things. They're in your computers. They're in your phones. Semiconductors are used in every single electronic device. If that's not the single most important thing, food and water are probably a little bit above. Shelter might be above. But in terms of things that we could live without, but don't want to live without, semiconductors are that. That's a Taiwan company right there, TSMC. And they manufacture around 50% of all semiconductors. 50%. China wants to get in on it because it's very lucrative, but they're on lists, and people don't want technology from China if they can help it because, well, spyware, malware, misinformation, collection of data, all that. You wouldn't want their semiconductors in some of our weapons, would you? I mean, we probably make those here anyhow. Probably not in Taiwan, but China wants to, and we're going to have to step in, because if China wants to try to knock Taiwan off the map so that they can get that control of the semiconductor market, I mean, we make a lot of our own food, shelter, we have our own water, we have oil, but if China can throttle us on semiconductors, boy, that would be a problem. That'd be a problem. And again, it would come down to affecting the poor and the middle class the most, because anything with semiconductors would become expensive. I mean, automobile companies use them. Phones, everything. I mean, I don't know what does to this computer. Everything you're using to watch this, everything I'm using to record this, has semiconductors in it. So, California, there's this rumor that they want to start banning single-use condiments. It's like the straws, man. They ban the straws, but meanwhile, they fly around in private jets, water their lawn twice a day, every day. It's just hypocritical shit designed to make them look good and you to feel good. So, this was the big one, I think, personally. I mean, a lot of stories happened during the week. I just sift out what catches my eye and what I think is important. That's, I'm a one-man show. So Biden says those who face being fired chose to get vaccinated. No, they were forced. People are going to lose their jobs over not getting vaccinated at this stage of the game. I mean, if this was like month 2, if this was like January 2020, I think it would be, then I could understand this panic, but I don't get it now. We have treatments, and it leads to things like this. The Quinnipiac, the Q poll, the Q poll. Biden's approval rating is at 38%. His job approval falls to new lows as they struggle to pass popular agenda. As we'll see, it's not popular. It's not popular. Some of their stuff is the bottom of the popular list. So, right now, 32% of independent voters approve of him. 32%. This is the most popular president. 28% agree with him on the border. And the wild part of this is that even Obama supported a stronger border. As we're going to see, we'll just get into it now. They're spending $5 million a day to not build the wall. They have sections of the wall that are ready to go, and they're not allowed to power them up. They have electric gates, cameras, lights, things like that. There's cameras. There's all kinds of equipment and stuff just sitting in warehouses, and they won't build it. It's already been paid for. It's not like they need more money. Finish the damn thing. But they are so scared of that sliver of a minority in their party, of the radical far left. They are so afraid of them. And that's all. What other excuse would there be? Okay, I get it. You're going to stick it to Trump, but come on. It's there. The materials are paid for. They're waiting. We have companies on standby to put the damn things in. And it's because he's a freaking liar, dude. And he's pandering to these people who are not, really mature enough to understand the ramifications of things. They're just not. They haven't seen this crap 3 or 4 times already. This partisan BS. This coming up with some way of scaring you into doing something. And then they hope that you lock yourself in an echo chamber. So you never hear about the absurdity that they're trying. California, electric vehicles don't have enough electricity don't want to dam up any rivers, don't want to put up any nuclear reactors. They really honestly think that. They honestly think that somehow solar and wind is going to cover, and it's not, and they know it. They know it. That's just the way it works. But you also realize that people live on grids. We have lots of grids, and some grids are more special than other grids. But here's some where people lie. This is what I was talking about. You know, it's very difficult for me to read this. But you know, when you look at some of the things that people mostly agree on, it's stuff like drinking water. It's stuff like housing. Down at the bottom of the barrel there is what? What is that one? The Climate Control Corps, or Civilian Climate Corps. Yeah, I really got to get better glasses. You know, child credits. You know, community college. That's the kind of stuff that's at the lower end of the spectrum. People have real problems right now. And some of this stuff, you know, what did I circle here? Installing electrical vehicle charging stations. And you notice how half the people support that. And Republicans have been listening to the people saying why it's a bad idea. The Democrats obviously haven't. It's simple. First of all, if you don't need them, don't put them there. Second of all, how are people going to charge their car? Were they just going to go from charging station to charging station? These things take a long time. Most people charge their cars overnight. How are these fueling stations going to work? This is absurd. You're going to put something in now when in the future it could be better and cheaper? Why are we going to spend them? Right now we have shortages and everything. So why are we going to do this right now? We don't need to do this right now. Wait a few years. Wait until it's necessary. You know, because this is what it's led to. These pork bills, where they're just going to blow our children's futures on a bunch of hopes and lies. And he's going to say it's a zero price tag. You know, but there you go. It's not zero, man. People are going to lose. That's a family farm. They're going to get hit with death taxes that are just astronomical. They're adding in stuff now to try to get your money. They're going to force you to put it into a retirement account. We talked about it last week. This is going to cost. It's going to cost you a lot. And I know because most left-wingers live in an echo chamber nowadays. Nobody's going to hear this. The people who need to hear this, need to hear this. This is important. That before you agree to this kind of stuff, you have to understand what it means. What is the long-term effect? Here in California, a great example of that is that we basically decriminalize shoplifting, and look what that's gotten us now. Professionals taking advantage of the law. Yeah, Look at the bigger story he tells those people. See, if you convince people that COVID is something worth throwing your future away for to survive it, lock yourself in your room for 2 straight years. If they've got you that scared, then when he says this about people who lost their jobs, you go right along with it. But the statistics don't bear it out. We have treatments now. We understand how this disease works. Yeah? But this next little piece I ran across really sums up how our country's really going. That in America, slave owners can be commemorated, but a George Floyd statue can't be left in peace. He didn't do anything. I mean, this is ridiculous now that you're venerating somebody who was breaking the law, somebody who was resisting arrest, somebody who participated in his own death. He wasn't out protesting for your rights. He wasn't out trying to change the world. He was trying to pass. You know what? Let's just stick with what we do know, the 100%. He was walking around stoned, going about his business. Okay? He was high on all kinds of things. All right? He was not protesting. He was not a civil rights leader. All right? He wasn't. He was sadly just another man in a long line of men that have been killed by the police. That's what he was. The color doesn't matter. The fact that it happens more often to black people, yeah, that is bad. That is a stain, But, again, the numbers don't exactly bear that out. It's just what the media has chosen to highlight. And it leads to insanity like this. Look, I'm sorry for what happened to him. I really am. It could have gone a million different ways and it went the way it went. But he's not a hero. Tesla moved to Austin, Texas. Well, that'll only make Austin more liberal. But maybe that'll help make Texas more purple. I don't know. I don't really care. I know California's hemorrhaging. I live here. So, yeah. Dave Chappelle, I'll let you read that because that's pretty important stuff right there. He's somebody a lot of people look up to. But he's right. Disagreeing does not mean fearing or hating. It just means disagreeing. That's it. And when it comes to comedy, come on. You can't judge somebody on their jokes. You just can't. I mean, yes, of course you could. Okay. But when they're funny, they're funny. All right? When they're just mean, they're mean. I mean, somebody who tries to use humor as a cover for racism, that's one thing. But that's not what Dave is. But anyhow. Yeah. We talk about being sold a pack of lies. Story out. I'll have to find something on it. I don't know why I give you my mental notes, but I do. But Core Group or something is a homeless advocacy in New York, and it basically just paid for people's lavish lifestyle. I mean, you see, like, something as wholesome, I guess, as trying to help the homeless, okay? It turns into a machine. That's the way it works. Democrats put out help wanted ad for submissive, obedient women to replace cinema. Yeah. Talk about her a little bit more, but there she is. Yeah, I gotta give her a bell. Old Kevin and Bean. It never dies. But so they follow her into a bathroom, harass her for a while, and Biden says stuff like, that's bound to happen, unless you have Secret Service around you. Yeah, because you'd imagine how much he'd be harassed if he ever went out in public. I mean, God. But, her and Manchin and some of these other people, who's this guy, Gottheimer, they're what is known as moderate Democrats, I guess. But they're more purple. That's the problem now. They're now more in the middle. Because the rest of their party is going cuckoo trying to appease all of these radicalized youth. You knew the Democrats knew what they were doing when they weaponized the youth. The Republicans do the same damn thing, but not as a party, more as individuals who ultimately vote Republican. The Democrats are doing it as a party. They're weaponizing the youth, and the youth don't understand. They don't understand practicalities yet. I mean, they don't. I was there, man. I was there. I was young. Okay? I listened to a lot of the 60s rebel music. I voted Democrat. I was a liberal up until I started working, and Bill Clinton cost me my job, basically. But that's another story. He cost me hours, that's for sure. I went from 50 to 17. But anyhow, they're attacking the middle. They're attacking anybody who's close to the middle. So, And here's another great thing that's going on that the media has led to. They're now going after parents who speak out against critical race theory. And it goes back to what Chappelle was saying. I disagree with critical race theory. I am not a racist. That's a pure, simple fact. And that's why I don't want people being taught that crap. Kids have enough problems right now. We're in a crisis that we haven't seen before, where kids are trying to get caught up. We're trying to get our kids caught up, and you want to add incendiary crap into there. You want to force people to be at odds, because at the end of the day, as long as they can vote for the person with a D next to their name, that's all you care about. You are weaponizing children with this kind of shit. That's all you're doing. You're not educating them. You're not making for a better society. All right? That's not the way it works. You can't shove happy-go-go feelings down people's throats. That has to be manifest from in here. People have to learn it on their own. The more you... but you know this. That's your damn plan. Biden follows Congresswoman into bathroom to negotiate infrastructure bill. Yeah. Sniff her hair. Babylon Bee, man. Will the IRS be showing us all bank transactions of Congress members over $600 so we can figure out how they all leave Washington as multimillionaires? It'd be one thing. See, it would be one thing if they made their money after they left office, because it's still corruption. Because you know the way it works. In case you don't know the way it works, basically, a politician does whatever a lobbyist says, and then when the politician leaves his office, the said lobbyist basically gets him a job on somebody's board, and he collects $1 million salary, and twice a year he has to go to work. That's the way it works. That's how you bribe officials. And I'm not saying, I'm just saying that's on both sides of the fence. I'm not throwing anybody at, I can't say only the Democrats do it. I can't say only the Republicans do it, because they both do it. We know they do. Let's be honest. Book deals, crap like that. We know this. But yeah, that's what it's going to cost with Joe Biden's plan. See, he wants to know every transaction. He wants to make sure he's getting any piece of anything that you get. That's what he's doing. And he's going to create a massive bureaucracy that's not even going to work. It's sort of like the ballistics database that they proposed with serial numbering. It would be so massively big, it would be so easily thwarted. So what's the point? What's the point? We already know the rich people are going to shield their money somewhere. This is just a good one, because this was part of a video I did last week where I was talking about how they overblew the Oklahoma story in terms of the medicine that they used, or may or may not have used. And as we found out, they didn't. But it got a little thingamajigger down there, just letting you know. Yeah, so here's your $3 trillion equaling zero. Infrastructure is free stuff. Afghan pullout was a success. Open borders, closed borders. Brown kids, victims. White kids, oppressors. Yeah. And he says, I don't think parents should be telling schools what to teach. I guess that's McAuliffe. That's from wherever Bronco is. I don't always do my research. Maybe I'll pop it up down here. But anyhow, I make myself laugh sometimes. It's just how stupid I could be. But look, man, nothing on that board makes any sense to me. So how stupid am I, really? I mean, I don't understand how people are buying into this crap. I mean, that crap, that's what they're selling. That may be a political cartoon, but everything on the board is almost undeniably true. That's what they're trying to preach. Because they're weaponizing kids. They're weaponizing the next generation, probably because they're all about to die. And they need suitable batshit crazy people to take their seats. But the funny thing is that, just like myself, a lot of these kids are going to grow up seeing the failures of the Democrats. And they will leave. Thief assures victim robbery will cost nothing, since victim is paying for it. Yep, let that one sink in. Babylon Bee. That's the problem. The problem is that just like the whole $1 trillion thing is free because you're going to tax the rich. Okay, there's a lot of hidden costs in there. You know, there's death taxes. There is forced retirement savings. I mean, you know, really, when you're first starting out in life, if you can save for your retirement, you should. But you're going to need every dime you've got to make it in this world. And if he's going to make you put 6% into a savings account for when, you know, you're 65, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense that people are working 2 jobs and now they're going to have to give up 6%. And if somebody dies in their family, instead of inheriting something, they're going to get a giant bill. And they may just have to sell it instead of keep it, rent it, build long-term wealth. I mean, if you get a house and it's paid for, you can get a mortgage on said house. You can rent that house out, get a mortgage on it, and buy more property and build wealth. You have to look at the hidden cost of what's going on here. This is serious. His plan is going to cost you a lot more than you think. He's lying. And when you see that, it's going to be too late. So look into it now. Look into it now. And in the coming months and years, we're going to have a couple more tests. And I'm just going to put them out there right now because we're going to have to do something about Taiwan. And we're going to have to do something about the Olympics. Because we can't run around here questioning why we don't have a statue of George Floyd, but then we're going to send our athletes to a country that literally has 1 million slaves picking cotton. That's who China is. That's who our current administration seems to be trying to placate. And possibly the young people are being led to believe that China is the right way to run a country. They have slaves over there, and 1 million of them are picking cotton. And you're worried about George Floyd, but you're still buying products from China. You're still willing to send athletes to China. You're willing to support a president who may have links. I'm just saying, this is some important stuff. Look into it now before it's too late. Copious out.